Hi guys, it is Dani and welcome to this update video this morning. I trust and hope you're doing great. So the focus of this video is going to be Tropical Storm Melissa, which should become a hurricane in the coming days. And there is that increase in confidence in regards to something potentially directly impacting the island of Jamaica. So we're going to be talking about all that, and let's go into the details for it. Alright, here we go. So on the infrared satellite imagery early this morning, by the way, this is a bit ahead of schedule, so by the time you're seeing this, it may have more bursts of convection going on. So lots of showers and thunderstorms associated with Melissa after we saw kind of a more disheveled appearance on satellite late last night. So it's been making a little bit of a comeback, and the system is going to eventually encounter some more conducive conditions for that additional strengthening to eventually take place. But as of right now, it is not in the most ideal conditions with those upper level winds, as they've been helping to limit significant intensification of the system. And it's been bringing some rainfall to parts of Hispaniola, especially the Dominican Republic, and even a few spots in Puerto Rico. So these similar areas will likely experience some additional periods of rainfall activity today. And last evening in Jamaica, there were some instances of some heavy rain and thunderstorms. Some persons think that it may have been associated with Melissa, but it was not associated with Melissa. We typically get some afternoon showers and thunderstorms popping up, especially with the aid of that daytime heating. So it's not Melissa, guys. Melissa's not there as yet. So let's look at that rainfall forecast for today, after which we'll talk more about Melissa. So here we go. And we can see these colorful shadings. So additional periods of heavy rain will be possible for the central, going to the southern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, eastern Cuba, maybe a few spots in the Cayman Islands as well, and Jamaica, especially towards the afternoon hours. So as Melissa's also going to be nearing, it will be helping to increase that atmospheric instability, which will in turn favor more instances of heavy rainfall. And then for Hispaniola, especially towards the southern coast of the Dominican Republic, there's likely to be some heavy rain, additional heavy rain surging in from Melissa. And then towards the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, through the Lesser Antilles and ABC Islands, there could be a couple more passing showers with a few isolated instances of heavy downpours. Down to the Guyanas, for especially Guyana, there could be some heavy rain. And for parts of Central America, we've been seeing that it's been active in a few spots. It's going to be a similar story as we progress throughout today. And we can see those extremely high rain totals offshore associated with Melissa. Eventually, this is going to be moving into somewhere, bringing very staggering rainfall totals, flood triggering rain, and there could even be landslides as a result of all of that rain, as well as the soil gets more saturated, especially on slopey or hilly areas. Now, this is the look at the latest cone forecast from the National Hurricane Center for Melissa. And real quick here, I want to compare it to yesterday. Let's take a look at it. We can see that there is a notable westward shift in the future track of Melissa. And that means the long-term track is taking the system much closer to Jamaica, although, as I've been reiterating multiple times, there is uncertainty. But this is definitely something concerning for Jamaica. Eventually, this tropical storm watch that we are under may be upgraded to a hurricane watch, and maybe a warning as well if this comes true, if it's a case where we actually see the system making a close approach, looking as though it wants to make landfall as we head into the end of this week and even into early next week as well. So currently that tropical storm watch remains, and a hurricane watch remains for the southern coast of Haiti. So hurricane conditions are going to be possible within the next 2 days or so. And as of now, Melissa is producing maximum sustained winds up to 50 miles per hour and moving to the west to 12 miles per hour. So definitely slowing down, and it will dramatically slow down as we head into the latter part of this week. And that is going to be one of the concerns, because it's not a case where we just have something moving in and then it just quickly as it comes in, it just moves out within a couple of hours. We could be looking at a few days of persistent, relentless impacts. And that is what I am most concerned about with regards to this system. So, especially if you are in Jamaica, my fellow Jamaicans, if you've been looking for a sign to start preparing, this is your sign. Begin those preparations. It's time to go shopping for those non-perishable food items and having water stored away, having your flashlights. If you can, get in some solar chargers so that you can charge up your devices and all that. And of course, if it is a case where you live in an area that is flood prone or where you're concerned about the integrity of your home, there are shelters available island-wide. Matter of fact, I am going to leave in the pinned comment below is going to be a link to the website of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, or ODPEM. So on that website, you're going to be finding all of these shelters listed across the island. When you scroll down, you can see an interactive map that will show the location pins of the various shelters. But further down from that, there are going to be files for each parish. You can look through and see which of the shelters would be closest to where you are, guys. It is very important that we make these necessary preparations and take these steps to ensure safety as best as possible. Now, as it pertains to Melissa's intensification over the coming days, so we can see here that on the model intensity guidance, over the course of the next several days, gradual intensification is expected by most models, and quite a few models have also been showing that we could see the system become a major hurricane. And a major hurricane is basically category 3, 4, or 5. So this is another trend that we've been noticing, and it is not something that is outlandish because the Caribbean is hot right now. Melissa is really the only system that we've actually had enter the Caribbean and especially becoming a tropical storm in here. We haven't had any other disturbance or hurricane to help to deplete some of that heat energy. So all of that is really just sitting around waiting to fuel the system. And this is a look at the ocean heat content graphic here. And essentially, when we see more of the oranges and the red and those burgundy shadings, that indicates a lot more energy available to fuel the system. And especially when we're talking about something moving very slowly is what is expected of Melissa, being over those waters, that is kind of worst case scenario. And I wouldn't even rule out a significant major hurricane such as a Cat 4 or 5 off the system. I would not rule that out. I'm not saying it will happen, but taking into consideration these various factors, especially provided the more conducive upper level winds, it's certainly going to be possible. So again, Jamaica looks as though it may be an area of a direct hit as we head into the end of this week or potentially early next week. So this is why I'm here giving you these updates, multiple updates daily, because I want to ensure that you are up to speed with all of the necessary info. So that's it for now, guys. And I do hope you found this updates to be informative. But if you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will get to you when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.